I don't know how long I'm supposed to let that one go. I will. I'll figure that out still. Happy New Year to everyone. Everyone, happy New Year, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Merry whatever holiday you guys celebrate. We are back. Welcome to Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards. Cuz Commanders number one. I've got the boys with me. I've got Sherman and Slothy. Sherman, how you doing?
I'm still really tired. How about you?
I'm mostly good. I have busy last few weeks and stuff. I've been having a really bad allergic reaction for like 3 or 4 weeks straight. So I've had like big like hive marks that look like I have like leprosy. It's I just got like big bumps all over. So I've been taking antihistamine like crazy naps, seeing the Hat Man, those kind of things. It's
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Been there.
When you for anyone who doesn't have bad allergies to anything, there's like there's a point between needing an EpiPen and just like bad allergic reactions where you have to take a lot of antihistamines. But the overdose effect of antihistamines and taking too much is that you're just really tired. So I've just been going from like my normal awake just dropping off fully asleep. It's been interesting, and I can't do that at work. So I've been trying my best to catch up on sleep. So other than that, I've been good, but I've been sleeping way more than normal. And Slothy, how are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad. Kinda at the point where even when I'm working, I don't know what day it is. Um, just 'cause having stretches of time off always messes with me.
Yeah, you get into such a routine, right?
Mhm. I show up to work for 3 days, have 4 days off, show up to work for 3 days, have 4 days off, and I almost forgot today was Saturday.
Yeah, it's the we don't work on any of like the big holidays. Nothing's open. It just for huge warehouses and stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense to pay 400 people
Mhm.
holiday pay so that they generously give us time off for all these things. So it's the same thing. I wake up and I'm like, oh yeah, I've got an extra day off now. This is great. So it's been kind of nice. We're back with our first episode from the new year, and we're gonna do what we always do, which is incessantly yap about magic. But before we get into this, we won't talk about too many specific cards today. But if you do want any specific cards ever, go over to houseofcards.ca, promo code IT99. It's gonna get you a discount at checkout. Great business, great stock, supports us, gets you a deal. Who wouldn't want it? And then if you want cool swag for the new year for your things, go to Nerd Gear. Again, the links in our bio, and they just have wonderful playmats and stuff. Go stock up, make your play space look kind of nice. Promo code again, IT99. And let's talk a little bit about just kind of where we are with Magic. So basically every year, for anyone who's a newer listener or hasn't done it or just doesn't remember what we do every year, I like to do like kind of a state of the union thing. We talk about where Magic is and where we think it's going and stuff. So before we say, I guess before we get into anything, let's talk about what 2025 brought us for Magic. So uh just basically I'll let you guys start us off here. I'll pull up the actual release schedule for 2025 in the background while you guys talk. But what was your thoughts generally on 2025?
It's too much. It's gonna get worse, but it's too much.
Okay, that's fair. How about you, Slothy?
Um, I'm very much on the same boat as Sherman, having it was quite a lot. Like, we got a lot of really interesting stuff. I'm still not huge on the sheer number of like universes beyond and just product in general that they're putting out.
Mhm.
But no, like there's as much as I complain about it, we did get some decent things. Like Cabbage Merchant is my beloved. How do you feel about it?
Um, I I- I've moved away from just kind of in general. I've moved away from buying sealed product for
Mhm.
a long time. I kind of have been product fatigued for a long time, and it really does look like a lot of players are also getting to that point. This year coming up, 2026 actually has more sets than 2025, which is shocking that they would double down on it. But right now, there's been a pretty big. I don't play a lot of the newer cards. Sometimes I see a
Mhm.
commander and I kind of build through with it, like Wan Shi Tong. I like stuff like that. But generally
Yeah.
speaking, I'm buying like a new commander. I'm not really buying new boxes and supplementing the whole thing.
Mhm.
So to me, the schedule doesn't really change or bother me that much. Like it's a lot of cards to keep up with of what they do and what they don't do. But for anyone who's like starting or just getting into Magic, it's always been that way, right? You're trying to catch up with,
Mhm.
10 years of cards that you may or may not know and have never seen. But that being said, like the uh, nothing really jumped out at me last year. Like we did our favorite cards, and so from our favorite cards episode, you kind of know a little bit about where I stand on it.
Mhm.
The sets were
Tarkir was real good.
I don't even think Tarkir was real good. I think Tarkir was all right. I think it was okay. Like if you like dumped the Tarkir set into like War of the Spark era, I would have not even mentioned a single card from Tarkir
No.
in the list, right? Like maybe maybe that's a boomer take of mine to just be like, oh yeah, guys, like I don't really like the new stuff, and they're but I didn't find myself super excited with a lot of the sets, a lot of the mechanics.
Mm.
I guess before I go on that, I want to say they in the last few years have come up with some just really really cool mechanics, and then they
Mhm.
just keep not revisiting or building on those mechanics. So they keep giving us what just seems like a fragment of a finished idea, but there's not actually like the support to do more things with that. Like the one that always comes to mind when I talk about this stuff is Foretell. The Foretell mechanic
Yeah.
was such a cool mechanic that really, really a lot of people liked. There's a lot of like cool deck ideas and things. It's like a good pre-planning thing, and they just have kind of abandoned that. And there's more and more of that. Like even mechanics I don't like start your engines. When is the next
Mhm.
time they're going to increase start your engines, right? Like Sherman's made some cool decks with the start your engines mechanic and stuff like that. The same thing with mounting, right? Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
cool. Again, it's not really a mechanic I personally am a giant fan of, but there was a lot of cool mount stuff, right? When are we going to
Mhm.
get the next like set of mounts, right? Like are we waiting? Are we going to get mounts in Star Trek? No, right? Yeah, maybe.
Now we're getting vehicles.
Yeah, right. So let's go over a little bit about like what came out in 2025. So 2025 had Aether Drift, it had
Mhm.
Innistrad Remastered, had Tarkir, Final Fantasy, Edge of Eternities, Marvel's Spider-Man, and Avatar: The Last Airbender. So it only had two original Magic sets, which I find weak. I find like if you're gonna release six sets, yeah, at a minimum, make half of them Magic, right?
Three of them were original IP.
Which ones?
Aether
Edge of
Drift,
Eternity,
Tarkir,
Aether
and Edge of
Remastered.
Eternity.
Oh, I don't know. Edge of Eternities, I guess, was technically one. You're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right. I always forget that that's not a Universe Beyond set. It just seems like a joke Universe Beyond set.
And granted, we're not even including Innistrad Remastered because technically it's just remastered.
Mhm.
Technically, that's just a cash grab.
Yeah,
100%. Yes.
yeah. There's just like I said, with that season of it, there was just an overabundance of product. There was because a lot of these sets had commander decks with them. Like Aether Drift, I think had two. Tarkir had
Yeah.
four or five. Final Fantasy had four or five. Edge of Eternities had two. I don't know if Spider Man had any. Did it?
No, Spider-Man
Spider-Man
and
and
Avatar
Avatar did
both
not.
had 0.
Okay, but again, still like even so as that, right? Like 10 commander decks, 12 commander decks a year is a lot. I really used to look forward to the commander release, like
Mhm.
like the Streets of New Capenna style. Like here we go, this is the commander set of the year, and now everything's kind of shoved towards commander players to just try and endlessly grab money from them. So I used to really, really look forward to like, okay, well, here's the commander decks. I'm gonna take them all apart. I'm gonna do that. And there's not time to flush any of these sets out before everything just kind of jumps around. Like there's when we had more of a block kind of system, I could be like, okay, well, I'm really big into building fairies right now, and I know that we're going to get some more fairy support. So here's direct upgrades to what I'm building, and here's like, oh, I've already been collecting these cards because I just opened 2 boxes of this, so I've got all the stuff for the new card for it, and now it's just kind of back and forth and this and that. So I really haven't enjoyed the jumping around of like sets and themes and stuff like that. Like even from a not buying standpoint, just from a playing standpoint, it doesn't seem cohesive or fun if you're trying to build a
Mhm.
collection and like suddenly like one set is just like this is Dragonstorm and you're like, wow, that's crazy. I'm gonna build dragon, and then they're like next Final Fantasy, not a dragon support card in the set, and you're like, well, I just went hard into dragons. They're like, too bad, it's Edge of Eternity's time.
Well, that kind of goes back to what we were saying about not having enough time to fully explore mechanics. When, like, and I'm not saying that the solution is going back to block sets, although that'd be lovely. When you're jumping from place to place every month with something new, you're not going to have enough time to flesh out your ideas, and things are going to more often than not, at least I've found, feel half baked. And there's going to be like two or three cool or fun cards with a mechanic, but that's really it. And then you're never getting it again or not getting it for a number of years.
Mhm.
And it's definitely a lot to keep up with, especially if you do like if you like fairies and you got one fairy set for the next 4 years to keep you busy, sort of thing.
Yeah. Like they just I'm going through and I'm looking at the newest mechanics and stuff like that, right? Like we've got Void, and Void was a mechanic I fully even missed. And Void looks pretty cool. Beginning your end step, if a non-land permanent left this battlefield or spell was warped, you create blah 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 or do whatever. That's a
Hmm.
pretty cool and stuff. There's a lot of blink, but that's kind of like rally. It's always kind of been like the rally mechanic from Aether Volt or Aether Revolt.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I'm like the way that they release everything, it is in my opinion, it is too much. But at the same time, I don't mind. Like I don't care because you guys all know, listening to the show and listening to me, I pick and choose. I don't care.
Mhm.
So
Hmm.
they can literally release a set every month, and I'm still fine with that. In the end, like it is a like it will probably get to that point. Let's face it. It's like if you play like gotcha games on your phone, like there's an event every single month kind of deal. Same deal
Hmm.
here, right? It's gonna be the same thing. But like having all of that plus all the secret layers at the same time is just like I know they're trying to squeeze us for all the money that they can, and I like playing with new mechanics, and like I like sitting down and not knowing what to face anymore. Like when you want to build a deck of like jack of all trades, it's really really difficult now because you don't know what you're gonna face, and that's the fantastic part about playing a game. But it's still just too much.
I was
It's just
actually
too
I
much
was
stuff.
I was just gonna go
Hmm.
off on that, but that is an interesting take on it. I look at it from a playing standpoint, right? Like one of the best skills I think you can have in Magic is the ability to assess what's coming up next, right? There's such a gigantic variety of cards that could hit the table. A lot of people build pretty cookie cutter across the board, like kind of EDH recommended kind of things, right? There's a lot of people go along a very easy recommended line and don't really branch out from that, right?
Hmm.
The more cards that we get shoved in and stuff like it, but I keep making the joke that we need to move to Commander 2 with Commander 2 now it's 200 cards because there's just so many good cards that could or could not go into a deck. But from a pure playing standpoint, if you don't know these new mechanics because they're just coming out and you decided you wanted to skip a set, there's just going to be a bunch of mechanics that you don't potentially understand how they work. Like firebending is a pretty prevalent one right now, right? There's a lot of
Hmm.
firebending cards. and they do a lot of really, really cool stuff. If you are unaware how a Fire Lord Azula deck works out because you just didn't like Avatar, so you didn't look at the set, really, you don't know that. You're kind of unaware because a lot of us we're all guilty of someone cast something and we might not really know what it does, but it doesn't seem that scary. It's a 4/4 for 4. That's fine. I'll read it, and then suddenly I attack you with Fire Lord Azula. It's a 4/4, and I say, okay, well, I don't have any blocks, and then you're like, okay, well, I'll do X, Y, Z, and it copies each of these spells. You're now dead. What?
Yeah.
Right? Like you have to be, especially if you're not keeping up with all of the new cards. You do have to spend a little bit more time actually asking what's on the table. And there, like I said, there was a lot of cool mechanics that came out. Like they did Flurry, and I love Flurry. Like it's like the Mrs. Bumbleflower kind of cast 2 spells a turn.
Hmm.
I really like those and stuff. But it's unlikely that we see that again for a while. It's unlikely that we Omen is kind of like an adventure card, but then it goes back in, which is cool. I like that a
Yeah.
lot. That's an
But
easy one for them to keep doing. So I hope
yeah,
that. Go ahead.
but like I like I don't mind like I'm not trying to interrupt you, but like at the same time, like it feels like okay, coming from someone that likes to build a lot of jank, it doesn't matter to me like that. Like I might be like you guys are like, oh, I'm waiting for a fairy set nonsense. I'm waiting for a dragon set. I'm just looking at the set and I'm like, hey, does this set contain any kind of possibility that there's going to be books in it or book artwork in it? No? All right, I'm skipping this. This one
Hmm.
does? Okay, I'm focused on it. I don't care because I'm focused on, you know, my jank, right? So I'm used to being like, oh, I look at this set. Okay, there's going to be like no papers, no books. Like Korea, I got nothing for my paper tribal, like stuff like that, right? I'm just used to it. The community needs to get used to the fact that not everything that comes out is gonna be catered to you. It's gonna be a banger for you. It's just gonna be something different. There's too many people that play Magic now that they can't just focus on those certain things anymore. They're
I
gonna diverge.
I would I'll agree with that, but I would like one thing a year. Just one to be
But like
focused towards me.
they gave you 3 sets this year that are Magic related in a
Yeah, they
sense.
all suck.
Okay? Think of it like being like sort of like a block release and then you have a bunch of like DLC in between.
Yeah. Well, again, yeah, sure they gave me 3 sets. One was a race car set. So, that wasn't
Yeah.
great. And
I
that
didn't say they're gonna be good. Sometimes you're gonna have like, things that come out that they're stinkers, but it is what it is. Like at least they're trying.
going back to
Yeah.
some of these mechanics here. Oh, what would you say?
I was gonna say, kind of along that point as well. Like even like this isn't meant to be a complaint about the universes beyond, but kind of I thought it was interesting what you said, Sherman, where you've got the block set and then DLC. Why is every DLC that we're getting kind of like blood and wine from The Witcher 3, where it's better than the actual game every time? Like
I
why
get it.
can they not take more like the amount of pride they take in like Final Fantasy or Avatar, which were both awesome sets, and implement that same level of care and detail into their own stuff?
So so my answer to that obviously is we don't know all the facts. We don't work for Wizards. We don't have contacts with Wizards. We don't, have contacts with like giant creators. We don't know the insides of what's going on.
Mhm.
Things could be happening that could take years. Maybe you have certain teams that aren't that, experienced that are working on this stuff. Or maybe they pulled people from like the creators from Flesh and Blood or like other people that used to work on those card games and brought them over to Magic. Who knows, right?
Mhm.
Like you don't know. I don't know. At the same time, I don't care. So I literally look at everything as like like fancy skins for DLCs and everything. It's like okay, like like with all the secret layers, you have all these special characters. You can get them if you purchase them. Blah blah blah. Limited edition. Yeah, yeah, yeah. they're really nice to have. I want them, but at the same time, if I don't have the cash or I'm not interested, I just put it aside or I just wait. I have the tremendous patience. Like I will like my Dan deck now. Okay, Dan was playing around with my commander, and he's like, I'm like, Dan, please be careful with it. It took me 3 years to find this one commander.
Mhm.
You know, until then, I didn't I didn't complain that like, oh, I don't have a commander that can't do this. I just said whatever, I'll just wait it out. And that's what it comes down to. I think people are just being impatient. They want every single set to be a banger. They want every single thing to go their way. I'm just like, all right, this set's not for me. Maybe the next set. This set has maybe one or two cards I would really like to play. Everything else I'm just gonna learn. Okay, just the next set. I don't care. If you're interested in it, great. The release schedule for next year, okay, like we have Lorwyn
We're
in
not that we're not there yet. We'll talk about that when we get there.
okay,
But
fine.
we're
But like
not in that year.
yeah, but like everything that came out like this year, okay, like, like I just look at it and I'm just like, "Oh, okay, this is all the stuff I grew up with because all the people that are in charge of releasing all that stuff are my age."
Mhm.
So anything I look back in my like I look back and like, okay, like we're seeing all these things because these are like, you know, like the dreams of people my age that are in these leadership positions that are like, you know what? I'm going back to my childhood. Nostalgia is a big thing. I want to bring this back, and I'm down for that. You know,
But
and they're bringing in more people, and whether it affects my immersion or not, that's on me, right?
mm,
It's on me. No, it's on me. Like it doesn't matter.
well,
Okay,
I
if
wanted to
if
say
you want to,
really quickly because because we're getting away from where I wanted to make a point here. Sloth, you mentioned Witcher. I like again. I like games like Diablo. Really like Diablo 4. But
Mhm.
if you release like a new Diablo set and all of the new items in Diablo are like Hello Kitty pink, and then you're like, well, we're trying to bring in Hello Kitty players to the Diablo fan base, so it doesn't have to be for you. I'm like, well, that's not the game I want to play, right? And that's a lot of players are getting to that point and stuff. There are a lot of people who are still nice and accepting of it, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, I don't need it. But again, Spider-Man sold very poorly this year. Like it's the Spider-Man's the worst selling set that they've ever had, and Aether Drift I
yeah,
think is the second.
yeah. There's reasons why behind both of those.
Yeah, but it's just like what I was gonna say is that like it's been too many years of like, okay, well, it doesn't have to be for you. At a certain point, the game that we're all buying into and playing does have to be for the players. It does have to be for the average player, and you do have to think about like, okay, well, like what does the average in franchise player? Because again, there's nothing wrong with wanting to bring new people into it, but they really are shoving a lot of older players out of the game because uh, yes, some Magic players are in our age range of like the mid third, but there's a lot of older players too. There's a lot of like 40s and 50s Magic players that don't want a Spider-Man set. They don't want a My Little Pony Secret Lair set. That's not what they're interested in. It does the joke has always been before like, okay, well, like I'm gonna cast this, but they've made it even more ridiculous with like SpongeBob this. It's they've gone a little too overboard with it. The Fortniteification of Magic is annoying a lot of players. No matter how nice of a
I
take we want to look on it, they are getting mad about
get
it.
it. I get it. I get it. I get people are mad about it, but at the same time, like, wh- why? Okay, like, sure, once we get to a certain point in time, like, half the Magic cards out there are going to be Universe Beyond. I totally get it. I understand the math behind it. At the same time, once again, you guys all hear me preach the same thing. I don't care. I just want to play the game. And if something drags you in and it makes you a fan of the game, I don't care if it's Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Final Fantasy, God of War, all that stuff. They can bring out a Nintendo set for Magic. I don't care. I just want to sit down and I want to play and have fun because that's what I want to spend my time doing is just playing the game and have fun and just get away from reality. I just don't care. I just want to play the game. And that's the thing what I'm trying to say is that out of all these sets that came out, okay, I don't expect every single one of them to be bangers. Like it sucks that half of them are Universes Beyond, and going forward, that's probably going to be more Universes Beyond than Magic cards out there. I totally understand that that's a huge pain point, but at the same time, I just want to play the game, and if I'm going to be interacting with other people that are going to have these breaks in immersion from time to time, and I just have to get used to it and be like, okay, whatever, it is what it is. Let's sit down and let's play. And if I don't like stuff like that, then it's going to help me get into that jank theme anyways. Like the next, like, let's just go on, because like we have so much to talk about. Anyways, that's how I feel though.
There's like I said, there's just I think that we can only say that, like, we can only use that excuse for so long when we talk about the health of the game, right? We can only say, like, I don't care, bury our heads, but like at a certain point, I've been a big advocate of just not buying stuff for ages, right?
Mhm.
I basically play the majority of my decks as a great Magic freeze, where everything is just kind of frozen in time where I built it. I don't really change or upgrade decks very often. I liked them when they were there. They, generally speaking, kind of do stand the test of time. There's obvious upgrades for some of them, but I still go out and I have a great time playing. But that being said, the 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 waterfall effect of it, of like, okay, I don't care, I'm not gonna buy. And if a lot of people just don't buy, then game stores don't really have people to sell to. They have to keep relying on an ever growing player base that doesn't have like a 20-year loyalty, right? A lot of people that
Mhm.
bought Final Fantasy, I know lots of people that bought decks to play Magic, and they play Final Fantasy. Is very fun to play with them, but they're not going to buy new decks. They're not. And Warhammer was the same. There's some Warhammer players that bought it, and they'll come and play a game with their Warhammer deck, but they don't really upgrade, right? So yes, be short-sighted. We can ignore it for a few years and say, I don't care, it doesn't affect me. But more and more, if people aren't at a game store actually buying that sealed product, and then we shift to just a singles market where no one's excited to crack boxes unless you're chasing the soul stone in one printing of one, and it's, like, everyone's just playing like lottery roulette on a set that kind of sucks, right? Like a lot of the Spider-Man things, you're opening like dollar whole packs, right? Like that's not worth getting these collector boosters. They're pretty rough for some of them, and at least with like Lord of the Rings, when they were chasing the One Ring, there was a lot of cool other cards you could get, right? But now it just is like, here is a special version, serialize this, serialize that, and a lot of people just aren't buying cards, and if they're not buying cards, they're not as excited, they're not as engaged and stuff like that. Like I see a lot of people becoming disengaged. I don't see a ton of people building new stuff, buying new stuff. And again, like I've got a pretty good like insight, like into what game stores are doing and stuff. I'm pretty close with a few like game store owners and different owners across Canada, kind of thing. So I've got a pretty good grip on how people are doing things and what they're doing. And the other point of it is that there's just kind of not money to keep up with stuff. Like I did still want to go over some of the other mechanics and stuff before we move on with stuff, but I just, 6 sets a year is kind of hard to invest your money into, right? That's half the year basically. Every 2 months you have to get a new thing, and even if you get a box, right? Like even if a box is what, like $200, every 6 months we're now up at like $1,200 a year in just cracking a box every 2 months. That
Yeah,
that's
something like that.
that's
So,
a rough cost to eat for the average player, right?
but
Mhm.
like like even if you're a fan, you don't have to buy everything.
Hmm.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Like people should like it. Okay, I understand people want to buy Magic cards and they constantly want to get the new sets every single time and all the new cards because they're nice and fancy and powerful and everything. I totally get that, but we need to be reasonable here. It is not affordable in that sense. Scalpers are coming in, they're buying on a product, they're jacking up the prices. You can't find product constantly. Like look at Final Fantasy. Okay, like collectors boosters jumped up to like over $2,000 for us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It kind of crazy. But at the same time, I say practice patience. Why? Because they're pumping up so many things that they eventually, flood the market and then things get cheaper. Okay. I understand LGS has suffered from it. Okay. But you're going to have the people that want the product right now that are willing to pay for it and pay that price just to get the product and play with it. And then you have people like me that are willing to wait a year, 2 years, 3 years to get that product at a discounted price if need be. And if I can't get it at a discounted price because it costs me more, like look at Warhammer. I want Warhammer. I still don't have Warhammer because it's too expensive. It is what it is. I live without it. That's all
Mhm.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it sucks, but it is what it is. People need to be responsible when it comes down to it. You don't need to buy every single thing. Yes, the economy suffers. I get it. I understand. I do. I understand the math. But like at the same time, like you have people that are willing to spend the money to get that stuff, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to have the new people that are spending the money as well, and you just go from there.
Yeah. But like I said, that all of those things, all of these arguments, I agree, are a fine argument occasionally. They are not fine for a long-term health of a game. They're fine occasionally. If you want to give me a year of like, okay, guys, like but this is more than 1 year and we're going into another year of it. Like it just it's back to back, like we're at nearly like War of the Spark was 2020, right? Like that's kind of we're at, like the I would say we're at 4 to 5 years. We're half a decade of having this argument of like that's a long time. You know what I mean? That at the end of the day, like none of us are getting younger and stuff. It is a long time, and if I have the last half decade of like, okay, well, just like accept this coming in, accept the fortification for, another like a sixth year, a seventh year, an eighth year. Like, do I have to put up with a decade of it before Wizards is like, because they do plan stuff far, far in advance, right? It is sadly, it's not like see one set fail and change course. They do have time for it. They have designed it. They've already printed it, they've marketed blah blah blah, right? But how many years of it do we have to have? Because people are not happy. Like the Spider-Man set should be a wake-up call. Avatar sold okay in comparison. None of them have been up to, like, Final Fantasy was an outlier for sure in it. People, I think across all sides of the I don't like this, I do like this, I think everyone underestimated how popular Final Fantasy would be. Like Final Fantasy was good. People liked it.
But
Mhm.
like at the same time, I do think that Wizards is trying to listen and hear out what the fans are saying. Like Final Fantasy, they were saying that it took them 6 years to develop for the set, right? So like, how long like what if Aether Drift they only had like a year or 2 years to develop because they had to fit something in, but Final Fantasy was 6 years. Like like we don't know the everything behind what's going on behind closed doors. But at the same time, like it does feel like that at times they are trying to listen because like look at when they pulled back the secret letters for Monster Hunter, right?
That again, that's not even listening. That's because they were they didn't sell anything. It was the backlash was, it was to a point they couldn't ignore for that because it was a wasted product.
But like is that? But like that's what you're hearing, and I'm hearing the opposite. So who's right?
No, they've openly said that it was
Oh,
that's why. It's because it didn't sell. Players were infuriated with how badly the Monster Hunter one was dealt with.
because what I heard was like things like multiple things like like the like besides the cards that they were choosing, no one really cared for because there was like no value. Like there was like spelling mistakes, or artwork like didn't look great, like a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, but that's
So
what I
they
mean.
just pulled it back.
The backlash to it was because no one bought it. They've rolled out too many things. Like there's been there's been secret layers where they've printed like sorcery instead of an instant and stuff like that. Like they've messed it up, and it's because they're just trying to shove out as much product as they can. From us, we look at everything from the standpoint of like, this is a game we like to play and stuff. Whereas like Wizards is a business, and they're trying to look at, this is the most amount of money I want to make from it, and that lack of care is bleeding over into sets as well, because everything right now is like, well, what if it was Spider-Man? Well, what if it was, what if it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? What if we did that? And they're not really flushing the sets out. They're just kind of jamming them in. It doesn't matter if they make sense in the universe or if players like them, because a lot of us just passively have this idea that like, oh, it's fine.
But like I said, we don't know how much time it takes them to develop certain things, or to come up with ideas, or like how experienced the team is and everything. I'm just saying, like like they're trying and they're pushing it, and I think they're pushing a little bit too much. I agree with that. At the same time, though, like I'm trying to give them like credit for like at least they're trying to dive into other things.
That's again, it is fair, and like, we don't know the team, but at the same time, you expect the team to be good. You kind of, that's the expectation for something this big. This isn't a small game. If this is going to be the main set, and you're going to like put your time into, like, if you want people to be the designers on this main set, you kind of don't get to rely on the like, well, give them time. This is too big of a thing to have people as like a first time come in and be like, well, if it fails, it fails. Like, it's, we should expect the end of the day, Magic players spend a lot of money. People who like this game really like this game. A lot of people have played it their whole lives. They invest very heavily into it. And it's where they go to like play games at the end of the week. It's what they look forward to. It's where a lot of people make their like lifelong friends. It's like the best thing in life for a lot of these people. Throwing it casually to like, well, like, we're gonna let them figure it out isn't great. Again, I'm a passionate Magic player. I've played for a long time. I've got a ton of game knowledge. I would not be a wonderful design set guy to go towards. You'd have no blue cards. It'd be no instance. It would like you'd have no interaction with things. I would build the game the way I want to, not the way that would be healthy for the game, right? And that's kind of the point, is that these things, while they may be fun at the time, just like me designing my own set, while they may be fun, they may not just be like necessarily healthy, because we keep getting, like I said, I still wanted to talk a bit about the mechanics. One of the best set of mechanics, I think, for 2025 is earth, water, fire, and airbending. These were great mechanics. They were really, really cool. And then the other one is job select. I don't know where they can fit these mechanics back in to bring me more of them, right? Station obviously
Well,
has a place.
like granted, yeah, they have a place and everything, but if they bring it back, great. If they don't bring it back, it is what it is. Like, what's Avatar, like they still have like the possibility of bringing in like Avatar Korra,
But
Mhm.
but
right?
that's what I mean,
Which
right? Like, do I have to wait for another secret layer, like another universe beyond set, to have a good mechanic? Because those are good mechanics.
I get it. It's a good mechanic, but like there's other mechanics that are good that I want to see come back. Like like you said, foretell and everything, and some of them that are horrible that I never want to see again. But at the same time, it is what it is. Like I would love to see them bring back battles. Like how long are we waiting for that, right?
Well, again, that's a good point. Is flush out battles instead of giving me Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, like I don't know, like who knows? Maybe they do have something in the back. Once again, they had something in the background. They're trying out, and it didn't work. So they had to toss it again, and now it sits in waiting in the wings. So, and just goes from there. Who knows?
Job select was sick.
Job selected, yeah. Job select, I don't get, but at the same time, like maybe they will come up with something. Like we can look at the past, like with things like I don't know, muscle burst, you know, from green, and you get like advantages for every other like card that has muscle burst in your graveyard or whatever. Like, there's dead mechanics all the time. It is what it is. Like, and we would love to see some good mechanics come back. And sometimes it takes time. Like it took a long time to bring back Morph, right?
Yeah.
So it took a while for them to figure out how to incorporate sagas after they first were introduced, and now we see sagas constantly. Like, who knows, right? Maybe they're just trying to flesh out the rulings and everything. Like, you never know.
I don't know. Let's jump into next year's release schedule and let's talk a little bit about each kind of set. So we start off with Lorwyn. Lorwyn is our next set that's coming out. I haven't seen enough of Lorwyn to know if it's gonna be good or bad yet. The story basically is it's Strixhaven students come to Lorwyn. They're on a journey to do X, Y, and Z kind of thing. So it follows a set of non planeswalker characters from Strixhaven. There's like basically like kind of like a D&D party and stuff. They got like they've got like a flushed out like miniature little party and stuff like that. And again, I don't know the story well enough to say what they're doing, so I don't know. I don't know what the set is going to be. It's been a long time since we've been in Lorwyn. I've seen a lot of people complaining like, "Oh, well, it's not like all dark and stuff like Shadowmoor." Well, that's the point. Lorwyn and Shadowmoor was the dark side, so we'll see kind of where it gets to. I'm hopeful for the set. I think that out of all of the sets, it's probably the one I'm the most excited for. It and Strixhaven, obviously. Um, Sloth, you got any thoughts on Lorwyn here?
Um, kind of same as you. I know it only comes out in about 20 days as of time of recording, but I just haven't seen enough about it to be super excited or super upset about it yet. I'm just kind of right in the middle. I know my fiance is pretty excited about it, but yeah, I have to see more before I can really make an informed decision on it.
That's fair. I will say that I've heard a lot of really positive stuff about the commanders that have been spoiled for it.
Mhm. Yeah, that one elf is pretty cool.
I
The
mean
black
I
green
mean the
one.
actual like commander decks themselves. Have you seen the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Is it 2 commander decks or 4 commander decks this set?
I think it's two. It looks
Two.
like two so far.
And there's like 5 color elementals and then a graveyard based one.
Yeah, the five color elementals where they all have evoke or whatever it looks pretty cool. I'm trying to see if I can find that. Do we know the name of that card? I think it's an Ashling something. Um,
Yeah, I have no idea. I honestly haven't really looked at many of the spoilers, if any of the spoilers here.
yeah,
Like, I saw
Mhm.
the elf because everyone's talking about the elf,
yeah, keeping
but that's
everyone
about it.
does like the elf. Yeah, so there's Blight Curse, which is it's a Golgari like -1/-1 drain counter deck, which does look really cool. And then the other one is it's Dance of the Elements, five color elementals. I should be able to find the actual. I know they were leaked, but
I'm always worried
Uh,
when they release 5 color commander decks.
the elemental deck you're gonna see at flood tables for sure.
100%, yeah.
yeah.
Just trying to find that exact one.
But,
View
like,
spoiler. Oh
it
yeah, okay. So
it's kind of it's
I
kind of crazy when you think about, like, how much, like, everything else is spoiled, and then we have Lorwyn, like, "Oh, it's been only spoiled for, like, this much, and that's it."
Yeah.
I found so the elemental one is Ashling the Limitless. It's 2 and a red for a legendary elemental sorcerer 2/3. Elemental spells you cast from your hand have evoke 4, which is phenomenal. That's very cool. And then whenever you sack a non-token elemental, create a token that's a copy of it. That token gains haste till end of turn at the beginning of your next end step. Sack it unless you pay Wooburg, which is cool. So you can keep getting them out, but it also lets you sacrifice things again whenever you sack a non-token elemental. So you can throw away a Avenger of Zendikar, right? Toss it away to like something like that gives you mana. Get an extra Avenger of Zendikar. Hopefully keep it. Like there's some really cool ones. And then the Blight one is a cool mechanic. It's got like Ward Blight too. But whenever one or more 1/1 counters are put on a creature, draw a card if you control it. If you don't control it, its controller loses 1 life. I really like that option and stuff like that to keep going with people. So like I said, I'm hoping that Lorwyn and Strixhaven are the sets I'm the most excited for. The year's lineup, we have Lorwyn then in January, and then immediately following that in March, like a very brief break, we get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one. I liked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a show and franchise when I was younger, but I haven't liked how they handled most secret layer stuff, so I don't think it's going to be great. But I don't know. Anyone, any thoughts on that one?
Uh, sorry, go ahead,
Go
Sherman.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed Ninja Turtles as a kid, and maybe there'll be some cool cards that are neat to build around, but meh. I'm really happy with the New York block set we've been getting.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, I was away from my mic there for a second. It is really funny that like the universes beyond, especially with the after Phyrexia invasion, we can go anywhere in the multiverse, and we just choose to keep going to New York.
Well, at
It's
least we didn't destroy San Francisco or Tokyo in like when they did the Godzilla stuff for Ikoria.
that's
True,
fair.
true.
We didn't do that yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah. From there we have our Secret of Strixhaven. I initially when we did Strixhaven the first time, I thought there was a lot of potential still. Strixhaven kind of had like a Civil War. You only have half the colors. You can really still explore half the continent. There's a lot of cool stuff. The retake on guild stuff was really interesting there. I like that idea. What do you guys think?
No, I definitely agree. I really liked how they handled lore holding that and kind of making it from like go away a bit from the standard notion at the time that oh yeah, Boros can do equipment, and I really enjoyed the Lorehold precon that came with that. So I hope they explore that a bit more.
Yeah, Oswald or
Yeah, no, Oswald was the little dwarf guy.
which one was the precon? I can't remember for
I will pull
The
it up real
Oscar.
quick.
Osgear.
Osgear.
Yes, there.
Oscar.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a really cool one with the ability to throw things. Like I said, I really liked their take on like the new way of doing Golgari, the new lore hold,
Mhm.
Quandrix. That was really cool. So I am hopeful for that one. It's kind of hard. So as much as I hate, it's kind of hard to mess Lorwyn up. It's kind of hard to mess Strixhaven up. They're both pretty guaranteed easy peasy. Like okay, like this is an easy set for us, right? Like it's hard to mess those ones up.
Mhm.
I don't know. I can find a way to mess them up.
That's fair. It's like I said, that one looks like a pretty easy to knock out of the park kind of thing. It doesn't look too bad. From there, what do we get? From there, we get Marvel superheroes. Again, not a set that I'm really personally excited for, but obviously a set that'll go well, right? Like people like Marvel. There's no downplaying it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I've seen some talkings in the more competitive scene that Super Skrull is looking to potentially be something. So we'll see. I mean,
Is that a card that was already spoiled kind of thing?
yeah, it's one triple black for a 4/5 Skrull shapeshifter villain with flying.
Yes.
2 and 8 create an 0/4 colorless wall with flying. 3 and a green gets +4/+4 until end of turn. 4 and a red deals 4 damage to target creature, and 5 and a blue target player draws 4 cards.
Yeah, New Kenrith.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, new Kenrith.
Yep.
Yeah, New Kenrith actually does look pretty cool. I finally found a page here. I'll pop it up on the video. It has like some of the flip cards from Lorwyn, like the Elemental Gods, the Merfolk Wizard. I do like these cool flip things, like the new Ashleen, the Eridu Carrier of Dawn. Like there's some cool stuff. It looks like they're doing a set of Shocklands in it. That's
Yeah.
cool. That again, that brings up some nice value, right? That
Mhm.
better not be. I'm looking at this. One second, I'm gonna link you guys this. I was talking about the Ninja Turtle set, saying it would be all right. I'm showing you this better not be artwork for Ninja Turtles, or I'll lose my mind. You scroll down, it's not looking good.
Let's see here.
So we're looking for the artwork for the Ninja Turtles. You're saying?
Yeah, just if you're scrolling down, you can see some of the full art things. Like I said, when we look at these sets, we get to look at the bigger versions of things. That big splinter better not
I
be
don't
the
mind
artwork.
it.
I think it
Yeah,
looks horrible.
I don't
Like he's
mind
just
that
really
splinter.
some mousers around him while eating a pizza and drinking tea.
No, I think that's I'm not a fan of that one. I know the box artwork doesn't look horrible. So new 2 to 4 player co-op game mode. Turtle team up. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, back
I
to
wonder if
After
Marvel.
that,
Hmm? Back to Marvel. Yeah, again, Marvel kind of is a hard one for them to mess up. People just generally buy Marvel stuff in general. There's pretty much no matter who you are, there's going to be a superhero you like in Marvel or something you enjoy, I think.
See, I think there's kind of two sides to that because on the one hand, there are the Marvel fans that are just looking to scoop up anything Marvel related.
Hmm.
But we also thought that about Spider-Man.
Well, the problem
And
was that Spider-Man is popular. It's just they went with the multiverse Spider-Man, and not everyone likes the multiverse of Spider-Man. Like, so 100 versions of Spider-Man doesn't excite
Mhm.
players as much. That's what I feel, at least.
like, and they did have to change it after, like, because originally it was supposed to be a set almost like Assassin's Creed and March of the Machines Aftermath, where it's supposed to be a smaller
Mhm.
set, right? So they had to add to it and make it a main set instead
Hmm. That's fair.
because of the backlash from both March of the Machines Aftermath and Assassin's Creed. So that's why we saw so many extra cards, and it was just bloated because of that.
Okay, that's a fair thing that so they had to kind of last minute be like, well, fill the set out because people don't like half
Yeah,
sets.
yeah. Well, like think of it. Okay, like if you remove, like it was supposed to be like something like what was Assassin's Creed, like 100 cards or something like that. It's supposed to be something like
Yeah,
that.
like 109.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a nice small set, but it's like, oh wait, we got a lot of backlash, so we have to make this a main set, and then like you had to come up with a bunch of stuff and throw them all together and be like, here you go, and most of it didn't really work well because they threw it together almost last minute in a sense.
Hmm.
That's why a lot of the themes in it aren't really working well together, and there's a lot of +1/+1 counter synergy because of that.
No,
Mhm.
okay, that's fair. I didn't know that. I liked Aftermath. I didn't think like Aftermath just had bad cards, but I like the concept of Aftermath.
I think another problem with it, like particularly the Assassin's Creed one, as well, is people, at least from my recollection, people were really annoyed to be saying paying the same price for packs for half the cards.
Hmm.
Like if I feel like if the packs were still 15 cards, like sure it wouldn't have been super well received, but people wouldn't have been as vocal about oh how bad this set is when they were paying the $8 or $9 Canadian
Hmm.
for 7 cards, 6 of which are gonna be nothing special, and then 1 might be something special, but still probably not.
Yeah,
That's
and
fair.
that's a real big kicker, right? It's just like the fact that like Assassin's Creed like already didn't really sell well. Like the fans
Mhm.
bought it, yeah, but like it didn't sell well because you're paying so much for so little.
It was
Yeah.
expensive,
It
yeah.
Yeah,
It had really
so
cool stuff though.
Yeah.
it had a lot of great cards, and that's the thing. Like if you take Spider-Man and you take out all the like if you take out 200 cards, it's a killer set.
Yeah.
Okay,
That is fair.
100%. It's a killer set when you take out like 200 of the bloated cards out of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So again, like Marvel has a chance to be a huge set because they have such a big IP, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see
Yeah.
where it kind of gets to and stuff. But I think I think it'll perform better than Spider-Man, but again, I'm just personally not like a big like I'm gonna play Iron Man kind of guy. But again, I do
Yeah.
the Secret Lair ones, like I've played against some Storm, I've played against the Iron Man one. They're not horrible, they're fun.
Yeah, if the cards are fun, the cards are fun.
I like that, yeah.
And kind of a big takeaway that I have is kind of going along the lines of what Sherman said earlier. Like, yeah, not secret, the universes beyonds might not be for me, and I might complain about them, but they are for somebody else. And like, yeah, it's nice to get one. Actually, like the next set we're going to be talking about, to have one kind of thrown my way every once in a while. But just kind of that's just kind of how she goes. And there's going to be cool cards in the Marvel set, even if I don't care about Marvel in the slightest. But there are other people who are diehard fans going opening day to see every single movie, staying up to date on every single Marvel show, which that's that. It's impressive.
Mhm. I think
Yeah, that's
like
a lot.
if we get like
But
end game level of excitement, like people like
mhm.
especially up to like an Avengers end game kind of thing, people loved all that stuff, right? So
Oh yeah.
maybe it'll build hype back and everything, and maybe we'll see like lots of us grew up with Marvel and DC and stuff.
Mhm.
I don't know how DC would actually like fit in like I say a lot of the like I don't know how that would fit in, but I don't know how well DC would fit in. But then I also think like a lot of like Joker cards would be fun. I would enjoy those.
Well, if you think about it, you've got a Batman set. You don't really have to make it that far off from Murders at Karlov Manor.
Well, and true, and
Just change the themes a bit.
a lot of equipments. You've got vehicles set up. Batman
Mhm.
kind of makes sense actually.
See, so and that's the thing. Now you're going into like what I was saying, like, you just grow up and you get this nostalgia factor. Like, hey, what would be cool? This. Like, but like that's the thing. Like, do I want to see like a SpongeBob Secret Lair? Not really, but there's fans out there for it. Do I
Mhm.
hope that they never come out with things like Sailor Moon? No.
Boo,
Okay.
boo. I
Like,
would like to get into the anime stuff.
but they kind of do and they kind of don't, right? But like it's hard to pick and choose. It comes down to like how much of a fan you are when you come up with these
Mhm.
ideas.
Welcome the newest set, Magic the Gathering Pokemon.
You never know.
They own
It
the
could
IP.
happen.
They should be able to do that crossover pretty easy. You can do a whole lot of elementals that way.
No, Nintendo has so many when their litigation's insane.
They would get sued
Char
so
Char
fast.
Charizard's still not a dragon for some reason. Come on. I like I said,
Any
there's a lot of those sets. If they went over into the anime, but anime is not as prevalent as the Marvel stuff. We've got we've got a few more sets. Holy, we've got three more sets still. The Hobbit, I think they're kind of reaching with that one. I think it'll be good, but like it's
Uh,
they've kind of milked the Lord of the Rings a bit.
The Hobbit is one that I think is going to be really good, and that's coming A as a fan. B, that's probably one of the only places they can reprint the One Ring and make it not $100 card.
Super good point.
And C, like there's a ton of story there that if they do it like they did the Lord of the Rings set, I think it'll be just fine.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
I have to agree. I think it'll be fine.
Lord of the Rings
However, their
exceeded
best be
expectation.
their best be a partner mechanic where I can have the entire company in the command zone.
No, that's too much.
I
There's so
I know.
many. There's so many. I just want to see Smog as a legendary creature. I just want to
Yeah,
see that and go from
Smog
there.
is not a saga.
Yeah, as not as an
Smaug.
actual
Yeah,
creature with its horde.
yeah.
You know,
Well, this is the
and
place for them to do it.
Yeah.
then that's I don't want them to like reskin it as like the Faker's King,
Mm,
you know, like Corvold. I don't want them to reskin it. I want an actual, Smog card. So
yeah,
Yep. I like that.
100%.
Like I said, that one hopeful for, especially when you see how much care they put into the design of the Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah.
They did do a good job.
Well, that's kind of the thing, and like one of my personal favorite creature types to use is halflings
Mhm.
and dwarves, and kind of like you said, you got Sherman. Sometimes you might have to wait a few years, but you'll get there.
Delighted
Yeah,
Halfling.
exactly.
Speaking of things you could reprint
Yes.
in a great spot, that's a wonderful spot to put Delighted Halfling
Yep.
again.
Delighted halfling, and
Also, probably I don't know if Orcish Bowmasters would fit into the set there, but at least as like a
it
guest,
it depends if they go based off of the movie or the book,
yeah.
because there were no orcs in the book, but there
Yeah,
were orcs in the movie.
But
yeah.
they could do it as a bonus sheet card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could. So, but like the books compared to the Peter Jackson movies are quite different though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. And like with the Lord of the Rings set, they did kind of mix the two. Um, because like the card that comes to mind is "You cannot pass." Like that was the quote in the book, but that's not what the quote was in the movie.
Mhm.
So it feels like they could, they might not, they might. It kind of up in the air.
Yeah. I think that's a good spot for like the Lord of the Rings was good. I really hope that they do I liked the Forgotten Realm stuff that they did. I
Hmm.
didn't like how general they did it as like over like here's every character from Forgotten Realms. Not all of them were done wonderfully. I would love them to do because there's so many Forgotten Realms books and like Forgotten Realms
Hmm.
Dragonlance, like that's such a gigantic place and it does fit into the universe well. I just really, really liked backgrounds so much.
Backgrounds were good,
Yeah, I loved backgrounds.
and I
Then
mean,
Yeah,
Wizards owns the IP.
yeah, right.
yeah. Well,
I
maybe they'll go to Neverwinter this time.
I would love it.
Mm.
Yeah, I would like it a lot. I'm a big Forgotten Realms fan. So yeah, seeing like these older fantasy books to me, like as much as I hate on the Universe Beyond stuff, I do like the direction of the fantasy kind of books, right? Like it's kind of cool when they go there. Like if they do some of the Brandon Sanderson stuff too, that would be wonderful at some point. Like there's a lot of really cool fantasy theme books. I think maybe I would just hate on cartoons in my card game. I think that's what it kind of boils down to.
Yeah.
That's maybe that's it because maybe it's if it make it adult cartoons, make me a Sword Art Online one, make me a Freerun one, do it. Freerun's so good. The next one we have is Reality Fracture. I don't have any idea what it is.
Yeah, no clue.
Yeah,
No
Yeah.
clue.
I've
No
seen
idea.
I've seen a ton of people be like, this is where they're gonna break the reserve list. Is that's I don't think that's gonna happen. I do think maybe they'll go Shards of Alara style on it because it's a wonderful with Reality Fracture. It's a good way to do that and to color shift a lot of mechanic ideas that need to go over there. They've been really trying to give white some draw, maybe you know what I mean. Maybe give black some more of the enchantment removal. Kind of move these things over that need to flush out the card styles a little better. But again, that's just like conjecture. I have no idea or details on the set. Just Reality Fracture, and the artwork doesn't give us anything about it.
Yeah. Like, and
Yeah,
I know it's kind of a culmination of the story that's been happening for the last little bit, but
Maybe. New Kellen alert.
new Kellen
maybe.
alert.
Or
I,
it's in October. Maybe they were going to go back to like like a horror theme kind of deals, or like with Duskmorn.
Kind of like a sci-fi horror set would be cool.
Yeah, because they already dived into that. And it's in October,
Yeah.
so you never know.
the horror sets are cool. I do like them conceptually. Like I like them. Duskborn again seemed a little out of place, but Duskborn had really cool cards, like the impending doom kind of stuff. Those were like cool mechanics as well.
Hmm.
And I liked the like
And we
sir
got the rooms.
yeah, the survivors, the rooms, like that was cool. I did like they had some cool stuff. And then Star Trek, I'm not a giant fan of Star Trek in general, but Star Trek, Star Wars, both like both sides of wherever you land on that have numerous fans. A lot of people really like it, so there should be it's a great place for them to do more of the station, more of the vehicles, the legendary artifacts, actually flush out that like change more with the like can be your commander as vehicle things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be excited for. I'm excited for Star Trek. I'm a big Star Trek fan, so
Mhm.
having stations and everything that would be real interesting. I just want to see if they do anything from Lower Decks, because that's like my favorite show
Yeah.
right now. So
What is that?
Lower Decks, it's animated, so you'll hate it off the bat.
It depends how it's animated. Like I said, I watch a lot of anime. I don't watch a lot of child
It's
cartoons.
animated.
Okay.
It's basically it's like a show that's dedicated to the love of Star Trek. You're following around basically these four like e- ensigns, and like they're just lower deck. They're like nothings. They're like the lowest rank kind of deal, right?
Mhm.
So and they just get into shenanigans and that's it. And then so like it's a long story. I will have to tell you. I don't want to flood up more time on this
I
right
I
now.
like
We
sh
have so
I
much
like
more to discuss.
shenanigans, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, no, maybe I'll check some of that out. Like I said, looking at the set, that is 7 sets in a year is it's heavy. It's fairly optimistic. I don't think we get the time to flush it out. But that being said, when I look at the 7 sets, it's unlikely I buy Ninja Turtle stuff at all. And it's unlikely I buy Star Trek. I'm not like I said, I'm not personally a Star Trek fan. So to me, that brings it down to 5 sets. Um, the Strixhaven stuff, we'll see. And again, Marvel's probably not for me too. So I probably am looking at like Strixhaven, a Lorwyn, and a Hobbit kind of year, which isn't horrible. Depends what Reality Fracture is like. So there is some time for me that way on that schedule, if you look at it that
Mhm.
way. But the 7 sets does feel like a lot. There's a lot of cards that they are gonna pump out this year, which worries me a bit. Like I'm hoping that they put it, but the year
That
set looks pretty cool so far. Like it looks like there
yeah.
is kind of stuff for everyone.
Yeah, and that's not including whatever surprise secret layers they bring out for us.
No, I'm sure there'll be a bunch of those. Yep.
Hopefully they spell things correctly.
Yeah, I gotta like I need to catch back up on the Magic story of kind of what has been going on. It's been kind of sporadic because it's not following a main set cast. Like it's not like a Gatewatch kind of thing anymore.
Mhm.
So I just yeah, like I said, I'm hopeful that they are responding actually to the fatigue of so much sets. Like we'll see. I'm hoping this is the last year of like insane amounts of sets. I'd rather less releases, but like more thought put into them.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Um. Now I guess we jump into like closing thoughts on it. I as much as I hate again, I don't think Magic's in a bad place. I think that events are fun. People like events were very busy when we were out at them this year. People are buying stuff, right? And there's a lot of new players that are coming into the game. I'm hoping that they stay around and they're enticed enough by what they see to not just buy the IP they like. But I
Mhm.
still do think Magic is in a good place. The reprints are they're looking pretty good, especially if Lorwyn is doing some of the Shocklands. That's wonderful for new players getting in. Shocklands are some of the best things they can reprint. I'm always happy for a Shockland set because they're just a great way to flush out a mana base, right? So seeing some of those come back is great. Like I think the last place we saw them was in Unset. Is that right?
Unless you count Ravnica Remastered, I believe you're correct.
Okay.
I'm I don't want to count remastered. I say no. So it's the last one. Yeah, like the the amusement park one, whatever the Unbound one
Yeah,
was for that
Infinity.
Infinity. Yeah.
Infinity. Thank you.
Which is yeah, like that's to me that's such a bad spot to put them, right? Like to be like, hey, you guys all want these cards, right? Here's they're in this. So again, like I said, I think there's cool stuff. I think that from what I'm seeing commander deck wise, there should be a lot of cool. If you're just starting Magic this year or you're thinking about just starting Magic, it's not a bad time to start, right? Like these are great planes that are full of legendary creatures. There's still a lot of the cool elder dragons on Strixhaven, so we're gonna get wonderful legends there. as
Mhm.
everyone knows, like Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit is full of cool legendary like creatures. You're gonna get wonderful stuff in that. Like there's
Mhm.
gonna, and again, every superhero you can think of with Marvel, right? Like you're gonna have a lot of cool commander options this year for sure.
Do we want to take a just a beginning of the year wild estimation on how many legendary creatures we get this year?
I would like to do
Nope.
that and count it at the end of
Nope.
next year. I'm
It's gonna
gonna
be a lot.
new legendary creatures for the year, hey?
Yeah.
Seven sets, I would say.
7 sets, 4 of them Universes Beyond, focused heavily on legendary creatures.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the problem that I have.
I lock in at 275 new legends.
That's too low.
That's way too low.
That's way too low.
Oh, I guess Marvel fine. Now,
That's half of what we got last year.
Yeah.
is it? Did we really get 500 legends last year?
We got
Final Fantasy,
479
baby. Final Fantasy.
Oh
and
yeah,
Spider-Man.
Best set ever.
479's insane.
Yeah.
I've gotta again. It always sounds crazy when I tell people how many commander decks. I'm like, I've got over 1,000 in sleeves, and then we got 479. I have. I'd have to almost double my decks to have built just last year's legends. Come on.
Yeah, it's insane. It's so insane. I was going for closer to like 650.
Yeah, I'm gonna say around 700.
I just saw Thunder's comment. New players will start leaving when they realize the main Magic universe isn't New York. I like that one. Kellen in Star Trek is also really funny. Oh yeah, no,
Oh,
I think that there's gonna be, yeah, I think it's gonna be a good place. We're gonna see. I'm gonna be doing, like I said, I should be doing more Magic stuff and building more this year. I didn't have as much time as I wanted. I was kind of working a ton, but I should be building a lot more this year and doing a lot more like live building stuff. So I'm excited for what the year brings and stuff like that. Like I'm not hating as much, and it is cool that there's like new Mark Poole artwork, like the big unnamed Lorwyn Eclipse art that I've got over on the screen here is by Mark Poole, which is always wonderful artwork. So I'm looking forward to it. Sherman, you got any thoughts for the year?
Yeah, like I so like I want to see what what their plans are for one the bracket system because it's still in beta from my understandings. They're still working on it.
Mhm.
I think they should just stick with this and call it a day and just go from there. So I'm
see, but if
excited
they
to
do
see.
that, people
Yeah,
who have problems with them, they can't just point to, "Oh, it's still in beta, so we're still just testing it."
yeah. Just release it. No one cares. It's just you know what the bracket system's all about is finding out if the people you're sitting down with are going to be jerks or not jerks. That's all it comes down to. Because if
Oh,
they're
yeah.
not jerks and they say like something's a bracket one, it's a bracket one. If they are jerks and they say that their deck is a bracket one, but it's actually like bracket four because of their intention, but they're like, oh, it's bracket one. They're jerks. Don't play with them. There you go. Done. Okay, that's all the bracket system's for. Is to find out if you're sitting down with a jerk or not. That's it. Other than that, I want to take bets on whether they're gonna unban Jeweled Lotus
You know what?
Yes.
Yeah.
because like let's look at the fact that like in the Avatar scene stuff, they accidentally printed Dockside Extortionist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the ones that I ended up pulling.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I got that one.
Oh,
That's got to feel bad. That's got to hurt.
that's
I don't abide by the ban list, so I'm just gonna put this in my decks anyway.
rule zero, baby, rule zero. But like, you know, like overall, I'm I'm not worried about Magic. Everyone keeps on saying like, "Oh, the death Magic's gonna come. Oh, I'm gonna quit and everything." Like even I was at a point like this year on like, "Oh, I might quit Magic just not because I don't enjoy it. It's just I don't have time for Magic."
Mhm.
Right? There's a very big difference between the two, and I'm like, I might quit because I don't have time. But like at the same time, like, I always say that every year during the holiday season because I'm so busy.
Yeah.
So I'm just going through phases, and like now I'm back and I'm putting together decks again and everything, and I'm having a
Mhm.
blast. And I like the fact I'm like, as you guys can tell, I am like one of the minority when it comes to voicing like how much I actually do enjoy what's going on. The fact that we do have a lot of products. It is too much in my opinion, but at the same time, I like the fact that I can sit down at a table with a bunch of strangers and not predict what I'm gonna face.
Mhm.
So my decks have to be more aligned, more tuned. That I have to know how to do things and what to do and deal with unexpected like things that come about just like in real life, because like
Mhm.
you don't have your life planned out and be like, I'm gonna have this and then not have any issues along the way. No, same thing with the game, right? I don't know what I'm going to encounter, and the mystery behind what I get to see is half the fun. And that's why I think, regardless of all the hate that's out there, I'm looking forward to all the stuff that's coming out. And I literally don't care what they bring out. I just want to sit down and be amazed at what someone put together.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I like I said, I hope it's going still. Magic still remains a fun game for me to play, and I think the same for a lot of people. It's still a way for me to get out and play with my buddies. So at the end of the day, it can't be that horrible, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Can't be
There's
that horrible.
definitely
But yeah.
worse things out there.
Yeah. So no, like I said, I think it'll be I think it won't be a bad year, but let's see where it is and stuff. I don't know, I guess just on our thing, I don't think we have a lot of the sets are big. And I don't think we have the time to do the spoiler episodes like we used to be doing. Like where we would
Mhm.
do like, 2 weeks kind of between commander spoilers and like all the rares, like 2 weeks and stuff, right? Like I don't think we can dedicate almost 20 weeks of the year to spoilers. Like it just seems like too much to get to the I'd rather talk about like commander tips things or like actual things or just like deck building instead of
Yeah.
spoilers. So maybe we'll do a brief spoiler overview where we just pick a few cards each about each set and talk about them or something. I don't know. I don't know what we'll do with that one, but like I said, the spoilers are they with so many sets they eat up a lot of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other closing stuff? Or are we good to wrap there on that?
I think I'm good to wrap there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well then let me hit our where's all my buttons here. I got it all figured out. Thank you guys for listening to our big disjointed rant. Negativity aside, if you want any of the cards, go over to housecards.ca, promo code IT99. You are going to get a wonderful discount on all these new singles when you don't buy the sealed stuff. So go buy all your fancy expensive singles there. Again, promo code IT99. It's going to get you a discount at checkout. Supports great business, gets you money off, gets us money. Everyone wins, right? So go over and do that. And then if you want, like I said, it's going to be a lot of new legends. If you want to put your nice fancy smog, which isn't going to be a saga, a smoga, if you want that, put it in a nice commander essential kit. You'll have your nice dice, you'll have your nice little life counter spin down, nice little spot to display it, like a king, the king of your deck. You're going to get that stuff over at nerdgear.ca. So promo code IT99 at nerdgear is going to get you a wonderful discount. They've got cool playmats. They've got really, really cool just product for upping the look of your play space. And yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much for being with us throughout last year. Very excited to have you guys with us this year and can't wait to build more decks and see where things go. Oh, and like, share, subscribe. It really helps us out. And if you want to support us, come to Patreon and build these decks with us. I'm much friendlier on the Patreon chats and Discord. I promise I don't hate that much. Only on Kellen. Only on Kellen. Bye-bye, everyone.
All right, laters.
See ya.